Shalawam, Shalawam. Shalawam, Shalawam. Alright. Share this out real quick. Then we're going to get started. Pray this be an edifying one. Through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah is the Father. Exists. Bahasham means in the name. Yahawashi equals the Son's true name. That means he saves, he delivers. And Rakakwadash is how you say a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart. All right, Shalawam, Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. As always, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well and sincerity taught us this truth. It's your brother Urami Kazak back with hope for another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash as always. All right. Pray this be an edifying one. Okay, today we're going to go into IUIC. Okay, it's more so for new brothers that may not know and have the understanding on this is a camp of false prophets, man. Okay, that's just simply what they are. All right, you know, and if you cleave unto their doctrine and their leadership and their guidance, right, then you therefore will be destroyed because they're leading you to destruction. It's no benefit by watching them and listening to the doctrine and the things that they spew out of their mouth. It's more so, you know, gathered. The government has funded them. This is why they're able to go all over the earth and establish and set up churches, okay? Which we understand the true church is us, right? Wherever we at. When two or three are gathered in the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, that's the true church, okay? So let's start. Got a couple videos to play, but before we even get into those videos, we're going to start in the scriptures, of course. Let's go to Isaiah, the 30th chapter. And go back over here to KJV. I started Isaiah 30 and start at the top, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahawah, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So these individuals are constantly covering with a covering that's not of the spirit of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. What spirit does IUIC cover with? For you brothers in the comments, if you could, you know, answer that for me. What spirit does IUIC cover with? What name do they call upon? Yeah, the Christ spirit, exactly. They call upon JC. They call upon Christ, right? They call upon Jesus, okay? And although they know the true names of Yahawah and Yahawashi, but they don't teach the true names. They're not pushing the true names to the people. This is more so about them. It's more so Christianity. It's more so that black church disguised with a Hebrew Israelite flavor to it. You understand? So they are rebellious children. And they cover with a covering, but not of his spirit, that they may add sin to sin. They're not coming with the spirit of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Therefore, they don't have the Holy Spirit. Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves, in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So Egypt being what? These Edomites, Babylon, America, right? And hey, if you're in the UK and you're cleaving unto these people, then you're doing the same thing. If you're in France and Spain, you're going to the government and you're cleaving, you're doing the same thing. So Egypt is not simply America or Babylon. It's what? It's simply talking about bondage. We have brothers and sisters that's in bondage all over this planet. Now, the primary place, the capital, what you would know as Basra, is Washington, D.C. America is known as the whore of Babylon, right? The whore of this beast system. So this is the main place where everything is spewing out from. But you have other Edomite nations, right, where our people go and cleave unto them, because we're talking about IUIC, correct? IUIC is all over the planet. So you have IUIC in France, you have IUIC in Africa, you have IUIC in Australia, you have IUIC in Hawaii. Okay, you got IUIC in, many different regions of this planet. And these individuals are going down to Egypt. They're going down to their government, which they are in bondage of, and they're seeking refuge. They're seeking grants. They're seeking 5013Cs. Okay? So, and they're covering with a different covering. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You have not asked Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to strengthen you, but you strengthen yourself in Pharaoh, in what the government can do for you. Verse 3, therefore the strength of Pharaoh shall be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. You're trusting in the beast system. You're aligning yourself with the ways of these governments. So therefore that should be your shame. You understand? That's what's going to happen to you. All right. Verse 4, for his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. So what is the title of this lesson? IUIC is a camp of false prophets. They cannot profit you. What they will teach you is detrimental to your health, man. It's detrimental to your life. They teach contrary to the commandments, but they claim to keep all the commandments. You can't keep all the commandments, Ak. You understand this? All right? You can't. Right now, all of us have multi fabrics on. Okay? All of us have multi fabrics on. You understand? Going all the way down to your underwear, your boxers. It's multi-stitching. So that's against the law. So you're already breaking the law. All right? That's what you're doing. So they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. So as you cleave unto the government, you take on their characteristics. You become wrathful. You become impatient. You become full of lasciviousness and greed and committing adultery and these type of things, just as the Edomites do, because you're now covering with a covering that's not of the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, but now so you're under the spirit of Esau. Verse 6, the burden of the beast of the south into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. They give you what? The VACCINE? They give you those type of things. Does that help you? No, that weakens your body. That weakens your immune system. That destroys you. They give you the pharmaceuticals. All right, let's look that up real quick before we even get into the videos that I have prepared. on the IUIC, because, hey, we're going to touch it in scriptures first and foremost. And let's look up the word pharmacy in the Latin. Now, what will it tell you? The word pharmacy derives from the medieval Latin term pharmakia, which traces its roots to the ancient Greek word pharmakia, meaning the use of drugs, remedies, or portions, or more so, witchcraft. All right. And let me see. Probably have to pull it up on the etymology. Right here. All right. The word pharmacy is derived from Old French substance such as food or in the form of medicine, which had a laxative effect. From medieval Latin pharmakia, from Greek pharmakia, ancient Greek, a medicine which itself derives from pharmakon, meaning drug, poison, or spell. All right. So that's what you're getting when you're dealing with these Edomites. As we know, them being serpents, the word nakash in the Hebrew means what? A wizard, a warlock, a divinator, a person that practices divination. So as you go down to Egypt seeking refuge and help, you're what? You're falling under a spell that they're giving to you. They'll prescribe you, let me prescribe you 100 milligrams of this and this and this. It's to get you to another stage and to destroy your body and deteriorate your body on the inside, where you'll have to come back and get some more medicine. It'll give you a temporary effect of healing, but it won't ever, it's never going to treat you. It's never going to cure you, I mean. They give you treatments. They don't give you cures. All right? This is what they do. So, for the Egyptians shall help in vain. Their help is no help at all, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Remember, what did we read earlier? Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, because they're helping in vain. So their strength, everything that the government is promising you, is going to end up being your shame. You understand? Verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. What does that mean? This right here. All right? These things have been written in a book. So forever and ever, we could go and read these things. All right? We can get the understanding of these things. Okay? So we go to the Bible. That's our healing. That's our medicine, because the Bible is what? That's Yahawashi. Yahawashi is the word made flesh. So we go to our husband to get healing. You understand? That's how we get protection. That's the covering that we cover with. We don't call on Christ. Okay? We don't call on Christos, Cesare Borgia, Serapis Christos. All right? IUIC constantly calls on JC, as well as ISUPK. They call it on JC now. You understand? How you an Israelite, but you're calling on a Latin term? You're calling on Greek words. You're reverting your people back to the colonizer tongue. You're supposed to teach them, at least teach them the names. If an individual is not teaching you the correct names of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, then are they truly a prophet? All right. Verse 9, as it said in verse 1, woe to the rebellious children. Now verse 9. And what does it say? That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahawah, but they claim to keep the law. But in every video, damn near, y'all got y'all hair lined up. Y'all allow people in y'all congregation to wear dreads, shaving their beards low. All right? Not carrying and keeping the laws at all. You do what you desire to do. This is what they do. This is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahawah. And they want to prey on young brothers that are what? That are easily influenced. And this doesn't mean young in age. This means young in spiritual age. You could be 40, but you come into the truth and you stumble upon IUIC and they got you because you're a babe in this truth. Okay? So age in a physical sense means nothing. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. You see? As I'm going to play a video about them talking about having sex on the Sabbath. That right there is what the people want to hear. I could pop my woman on the Sabbath. All right, cool. That's good, you know. Oh, yeah, shit. You can't refrain yourself. Okay? This is a day of rest. Matter of fact, let's get to that video, man. Let's just get to it. All right? And then we're gonna look at a couple key points in this because this is what they do. Okay? You need to be able to discern between these red flags. Heavy presentation. They know that Jake falls for the bright lights and the stars and the presentation and all of that. Okay? So this is what they give you. Let's get it.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Captain Matt here, IUIC.
Let's break this down piece by piece. Shalom. Okay, let's type that in the comments. Shalom, Israel. He spelled it like this. This is how he said it. Shalom. Now, we go back to the Hebrew. Where do you see an O at? Let's read it. Abagadahawazakatayaka lamanasai patazakwarashatha. It's no O. All right? It's Shalawam or Shalom. It's no O. Okay? So their Hebrew is rooted in Edomites, in Yiddish, in false. It's falsehood, man. Their vibration that they're coming in is off. Okay? They don't know the proper Hebrew. And then, as they came to tell you that the Hebrew that we have is not real Hebrew, but all your people got Hebrew names. Okay? And then, yeah, exactly. Most High Christ blessed. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. Why can't you come and let's go? How are you supposed to do this? Let's go to Matthew 28 and 19. As Yahawashi told us, go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father. What's the name of the Father? It's Yahawah. What's the name of the Son? You can get your ass up out of here. All right, this individual. The name of the Father is Yahawah. And the name of the Son is Yahawashi. Ain't no Yeshua. This individual said Yeshua. Don't come in here and try to teach. Okay? And of the Holy Spirit. All right? So what do we say every single lesson? This lesson is brought to you in the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakwadash. Y'all think we just saying that for any old reason? I'm just saying it because it make me feel good. It do make me feel good. But I'm saying it because it's a commandment. I'm saying it because we were told by a king this is how we're supposed to come. We supposed to baptize in the names of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Not in Most High Christ bless. No. Y'all got, man, look, man. Brothers being here, but is brothers actually listening to us? Is y'all actually listening? Psalms 34 and 3 from Zaquan. Oh, magnify Yahawah with me, and let us exalt his name together. Let's say these names together. The way that I say the names, you should say the names. Yahawah. Yahawah, 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 man. And Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Yahawashi. You should be comfortable saying those names, constantly saying them, knowing how to spell them, knowing how to form them, write them down in the Hebrew, knowing what they mean. Yahawah means he is, he exists. Yahawashi means he saves, he delivers. Knowing how to break it down. Okay? This is important. IUIC does not teach you that. They deprive you from that. It's not profitable. It's detrimental to you. Right? Let's keep it going.
New Orleans back with another 15 minutes with the captains, and today we are going over, can I have sex on the Sabbath? I have no idea why this is a thing with brothers and sisters in Israel, but we're going to touch on it today. All right, now they get that scripture from Isaiah 58 and 13. Let's read that.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words.
So they go with the pleasure part, like, oh, see, well, if you doing your own pleasure, that means you can't have sex. Let's go to Jude real quick. I want to go to Jude because this is what y'all be doing, bro.
Jude, verse 4. For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness.
Turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness.
So we those men crept in unawares because we telling you that you can't have sex on the Sabbath. That's what he's saying. Pretty much. We those men crept in unawares. No, you are those men crept in unawares. Let's go to that verse that he just read, Isaiah 58 and 13. And it says, keeping the Shabbat. And first and foremost, they don't know what day the Sabbath is on. They keep it Friday to Saturday. As we have broken it down many of times, the Sabbath is based upon the new moon. New moon represents a new month. So when you see a new moon in the sky, that's the first day of the month. It does not come on the 1st of July or the 1st of August or the 1st of September or whatever. No, we don't go off of no daggone white man's calendar. We go off of the Most High's calendar. Okay? Now, we understand the Sabbath comes in on the new moon. And then you work, and that's at evening to evening. So when the sun goes down, that begins a new day. Okay? So evening to evening. And then when that happens, after that happens, you begin your working day. And you work 6 days, and then you have another Shabbat. So if the Sabbath comes on, like right now, it's Sunday to Monday, okay? Then we will have 6 working days, Monday evening to that Sunday evening, and then the Sabbath starts again, Sunday to Monday, evening to evening. 6 working days, 1 rest day, point blank period. The new moon's coming in on July 13th, and that's a Monday, all right? So the Sabbath is going to change Monday to Tuesday. So the Sabbath changes according to the moon cycle. It does not stay the same Friday to Saturday, 24/7, 365 a year. No. That right there is red flag number 1 in this lesson. Because they don't understand when the Sabbath day is. You understand? So that right there initially would be a reason not to listen to these guys. Okay? The brother said, if anyone had common sense, they would. But like I said, they try to feed on little helpless babes, man. If anyone has common sense, they would have turned the channel soon as they contradicted themselves. Saying you can have sex, but the script says you can't do what you want on the Sabbath. Right? Now let's read the scripture that he just read. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahawah, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. Last time I checked, having sex, intercourse, was a pleasure. They literally call harlot houses pleasure houses. Okay? They literally call harlot houses pleasure houses. What are you talking about? This is the ultimate pleasure, man. All right? Now, it also goes into such things that you do constantly. All right? And you're supposed to refrain from violence. Okay? You're supposed to refrain from cooking. You're supposed to refrain from work. Now, we in captivity. So it's understandable if you have to go to work. Hey, you in captivity, man. Don't lose your job. The Most High gave you that job, so he already knows what comes with it. If you are low on funds and all you got in the refrigerator is some hamburger meat and you got to cook on the Sabbath, that's understandable. You know, nobody's being over righteous over here. But one thing you can keep is not having intercourse. You don't have to go into a woman. That can be held out. And then furthermore, you're practicing restraint. Restrain your damn self. All right? Is box more important than Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi? You tripping. These dudes are wicked, man. They're wicked. Everything they do is off their damn flesh. And then he goes over here and tries to call us men that crept in unawares because we're teaching our people the correct and proper way. Now, more so, what happens when you go into a woman? Let's go to the law. Okay? Let's go to the law. Where's that at, man? It's a word. I just have to type it in. To find the exact scripture. It's Leviticus 15 and 18. Let's get that. Oh, that's it. Seed of copulation. Okay. Now let's start up. Let's start at 16. And if any man's seed of copulation. Now what is that? That's your sperm, man. Hey, the water, Zaquan. That's your sperm, pretty much. Okay. Let's go into that just so nobody in here is confused. All right. Act of lying, layer coating, act of lying of sexual relations. All right. Of lying down, of due, or from the sexual act. Carnally, copulation, to lay seed. Right? So that's simply your sperm. Okay? So if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. So on the Sabbath, what you supposed to do? You don't supposed to be unclean. You're supposed to be clean. All right? It's a holy day. To be holy is to be clean. You understand? So he's cutting himself in so many different directions, man. You want to go into a woman making you unclean, you know? And then furthermore, it's pleasure. So verse 17, and every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation. After you have intercourse, bro, you're supposed to wash those sheets. And if you got seed on the sheets, and then you're supposed to wash the blankets. All right? You don't supposed to that's nasty, Ryan. You don't do that in the world. What's wrong with you? This is common sense, as the brother Yahawah said. All right? So it's like a law in us before we even knew the law. You gonna sit there and lay and come? What the fuck? All right? So in every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening. And you're supposed to wash your ass, as it said up here. Wash all his flesh in water. So take a shower, take a bath after intercourse. You and the woman. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening. All right. So on the Sabbath, you don't supposed to be making yourself unclean. Once again, it's a holy day. Refrain from pleasure. If you play the game every day, you like to play a little 2K or RPG or whatever it be, don't play the game on the Sabbath. You know? It's a day where you're practicing restraint. All right? Let's say you get GTA 6 and you buy it on the Sabbath day. You know, you pre-ordered it. Because really, if you can hold back from buying, then don't buy on the Sabbath. Because you don't supposed to. It's a holy day. You can wait until the next day. You know? Now, we understand, yeah, it may be exceptions. Right? You may have to drive to work and you got to get gas. You low on gas. You know, you got to get some gas. Okay, get some gas. Don't run out of gas. It goes into having common sense. And it's like, it's crazy. We got to explain this. But these dudes make it to where we have to explain it. As he said in the beginning, I don't know why we got to talk about this in Israel. Because y'all are teaching it incorrectly. This is why we have to talk about this. Because y'all out here leading people down the wrong road, man. All right. So let's keep it going. He's really just going to bounce around the issue. But I'm going to let it play for maybe like 2 minutes.
You hear the word pleasure and automatically think of sex. We got to reform our minds, Israel. We have to reform our minds. The chapter ain't even talking about that. Let's see what the chapter is talking about. Go back to Isaiah 58.
Yes, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 58.
Start at verse 3.
Verse 3. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast, ye find pleasure and exact all your labor.
In the day of your fast, you find pleasure and exact all your labors. You're supposed to be fasting, afflicting your souls to do what? Jump over to verse 6.
Verse 6. Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness?
So it ain't on no Michael Todd stuff where you ain't got to fast. No, you got to fast. To loose the band.
That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. You don't have to fast on the Sabbath. Especially on the new moon Sabbath, you actually supposed to have a feast. You're supposed to cook. And you're supposed to eat. The hell is he talking about? That's what I'm saying. These guys is like, what's wrong with this guy? You do not have to fast on the Sabbath. The only day that you are required to fast is the Day of Atonement. All right? You know, now it's you can fast on any Sabbath other than the new moon. But on the new moon, you are not supposed to fast. You are supposed to have a feast. Okay? You are allowed to cook on the new moon Sabbath because this is supposed to be a celebratory state. All right? So he's twisting the scripture, man. Okay? That's what he's doing. Because this is talking about observances of fast. And then you go down here and it's talking about keeping the Sabbath. What are you talking about, bro? Okay?
So wickedness means to get over your sins. To get rid of the things that plague you. That's why Christ said, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Sometimes you have to fast to get over certain sins that are deep within you. Ain't no way in hell you just gonna get over everything just by saying, oh, yep, I believe in Jesus and that's it. Like Satan ain't gonna tempt you. Satan tempted Christ. When that temptation comes, you got to have the spiritual fortitude to fight it. And fasting is the way to get it done. So it's talking about exacting your labors. Let's see one example of that. Give me Amos 8:5.
Amos chapter 8, verse 5. Saying, when will the new moon be gone? That we may sell corn.
So when will the new moon be gone that we may sell corn? Read.
And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat.
And the Sabbath, that you may set forth wheat. They was thinking about doing business. They wasn't worried about keeping the new moon holy. They wasn't.
Wait a minute. What'd he say? He's cutting himself again. He's going into the new moon. And the Sabbath is implying that these are what? Let's go to Isaiah 66. Isaiah 66 and 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, so from 1 month to another, and from one Sabbath to another. Now the new moon starts day 1. Then you have 6 working days. Then you have that really is going to be the 8th day, all right, of the month is going to be your Sabbath. Because that first day is a Sabbath in itself, being a new moon. So the first day is a new moon. That's a Sabbath. And then you have 6 working days. 1 plus 6 is 7. So then on that 8th day, it's going to be another Sabbath. So, and it shall come to pass that from a new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Putting away from your pleasures. That's a day where you read more, you study more. You don't go in your woman. Worship, you don't worship. Who worships being unclean? That's the same, bro. When you teach, you should not go in your woman before you come and teach. You don't go in your woman then come to camp. You unclean. You are producing yourself as a living sacrifice, correct? So therefore, that sacrifice needs to come unclean. It needs to come clean, Salakia. All right? So it's certain ways that you do things, man. These guys, their whole mindset is unclean, so therefore they teach an unclean doctrine. You know? Let's keep it going, because like I said, he's just going to bounce around and go from here to there and here to there and butcher the breakdown even more. I'm creating a little playlist, and I'm entitling it Bug Outs. All right, let's go back. Let's go get it. Where is it at? Playlist. Bug Outs. And remember, these presentations, we just come on here and preach, bro. How did Yahawashi come? Did Yahawashi have a presentation? Yahawashi is here. Yahawashi is here. Who did that? No. Yahawashi just get up and preach, man. Okay? He ain't got all these damn dumbass presentations. He just started preaching. That's what we do. It's the same spirit. So let's keep it going. What's the next one? I'll bring the playlist up. Oh, right here. I think it's right here. Yeah, right here. All right. Let's play this one. It's the same thing. It's on a similar topic. Let's listen to these guys because they both bugged out in the same way. So the point really is at 6 minutes, but I'm going to go to the beginning and I'm going to play it. And yeah, perfect point, Yahawah. The brother said he told us not to tell nobody more than he boasted his presence. Exactly. He said, tell nobody who I am. When he raised that girl from the dead, he said, tell nobody about this. He wasn't out there trying to make a name for himself or boast about himself. He was moving in secrecy, man. What real G's move in silence like lasagna? For real, though. He was moving like that. He knew about this situation, man, that this was going to bring death. This was going to bring envy. This was going to bring hate. Persecution was coming with this. This is not something you sit up here and boast about. We are wise men. We know what comes with teaching the word of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. Much hate.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Captain Josiah here. Welcome back to another edition of Fifth to the Captains. Today's topic is sex on the Sabbath. Is that okay? All right, we're gonna dig into the Bible, go over a couple of things, and clarify this topic. So let's start with Isaiah 58 and verse 13. We're gonna start there.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and the 13th verse. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words.
So that particular word is what trips everybody up, right?
Let's go into the word pleasure. If that particular word is what trips everybody up, it don't trip us up. It's common sense, bro. And then furthermore, we are taught to go into words. This is H 2656. Delight, pleasure, delight, desire, longing, the good pleasure, that in which one takes delight. Last time I checked, man, when you have intercourse, you actually delight in that, correct? Okay, that's something that you delight in. You like it. You desire to do it. Okay, so it's always pleasure. Pleasure, hence, desire, concretely, a valuable thing, hence, by extension, a matter, as something in mind. It's something that you want to do. Acceptable, delight, desire, things desired, matter, pleasant, purpose, willingly. It's something that you like to do. It's your flesh wants to do it. You see a fine woman, man. All right, you take pleasure in seeing that. Like, damn, she bad, yo. She cute as hell, you know what I'm saying? You take pleasure in seeing that. And then the next step would be to get to know her and all of that and be with her. You desire to lay with her. You desire to, as the scriptures say, humble her. It's not an undesirable situation. This is always pleasure. All right? Oh, man, let's get that. And Sirach. That's perfect precept. The water Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi came to my mind. This is Sirach 25 and 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. So with that being said, you don't just marry a woman off of her looks. You don't just marry her because you want to mess with her and lay with her. No. So you stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. You take her for her values, which she can provide as a wife. You restrain yourself. You don't operate off the flesh. Okay? Most brothers in here though, man. You gonna pick the Instagram model over the hardworking chick that work at Walmart, but she know how to cook, clean, take care of the kids, do all of that. But you gonna pick the Instagram model that don't know how to do shit. All she know how to do is lay on her back. All right? That's all she know how to do. And take pictures on the bathroom sink. Yeah, I got the angle. Like, that's how you gonna pick her? Or you gonna pick the one that has values and morals and integrity, and she not gonna cheat on you, and she not gonna abandon you, and she gonna be with you through thick and thin. But this Instagram model, she gonna leave soon as the money stop coming. We restrain ourselves from the lust of the flesh. I got you, bro. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 2. And it reads, and in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man and the pleasure that came with sleep. All right, yeah, got it. Yeah, what, was that the right one? Because I lost right there. But the point being, on that one is we all come from, it all takes 10 months, and 10 represents perfection. All right? Okay? So a man has to plant that seed in a woman. Okay, the pleasure that comes with sleep. Well, okay, I got you. I get your point on that. So let's keep it going.
Pleasure. Read 13 again.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure.
Not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure. Go ahead.
Nor speaking thine own words.
Okay, so pleasure, pleasure, and pleasure. Give me that definition real quick, and then let's read a couple of these. All right, on pleasure. Just read the first two.
The definition for pleasure. Number 1, the state or feeling of being pleased.
The state or feeling of being pleased. Okay, go ahead.
Number 2, enjoyment or satisfaction derived from what is to one's liking.
You see that? Enjoyment or satisfaction derived from what is to one's liking. So now, let's read the scripture again. That's all I need on that.
Isaiah chapter 58 and the 13th verse. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable.
So now let's just think about this for 1 second, right? Pleasure. We as adults, we often think of pleasure just as that particular thing, sex with your wife, with your spouse. Okay, I'll say spouse. Because that's what we think about. But guess what? Teenagers that aren't married, they have to keep the Sabbath.
What's marriage? What's marriage? See how he slipped up right there? He cut himself. Okay? And this is what I'm trying to relay to brothers. Okay? Their breakdowns are so trash, and they don't have the understanding of the scriptures, that it's like a lie compiling upon a lie upon a lie. So therefore, they're just so much in that darkness, man. All right? That it's hard to get up out of there. Let's go get that in Genesis 24 and 67. And wasn't no vows exchanged. He took her. Did they have a piece of paper? They had a marriage license? No, man. You gotta understand, marriage in itself is a covenant. It's a blood covenant. You're breaking the woman's, her virginity, okay? You're popping, what they say, popping her cherry, things of that nature, okay? And as according to Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, you would have a token of virginity where during the intercourse, you would have a rag, and when she would bleed upon that rag, and then that would be the token of her virginity, showing that she was a virgin, she was untouched, she was undefiled when you got her. If she doesn't have that, then she was undefiled. I mean, she was defiled. Somebody went into her before you got her. Therefore, I ain't dealing with her. She's been out here playing the harlot. Okay? So marriage is a blood covenant. You break a seal and blood is exchanged. And that blood is on the token of virginity. And that's given to what? That's given to the parents. So they can prove that when you went into our daughter, she was indeed undefiled. You have to stay with her forever, man. Every woman you laid with, All right, they would have been more so your wife. But this captivity, women out here, it's rare that you're going to deal with your first. All right, just how this society is set up. These women are in their whole phases. So this is not set up how, we are. Now, our kids that are raised up, we going to do it the correct and proper way. My daughter is going to be given away to a man. The proper way, to an Israelite man. Okay? And she will be with him forever. That's the proper way. And we're going to be in the kingdom, man. Yahawah. Okay? So it's going to be the proper and correct way. She's never going to be with another man. She's just going to be with one man. For her everlasting. All right? So keeping it going, let's go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Actually, the 2nd chapter. And verse 18. And Yahawah power said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. That's what the woman is. A possession, a help meet, a support. She's supposed to support and help that man. Now you go down here to verse 21. And power caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. This is not talking about the Most High opening up Adam and pulling out a rib or none of that. No, this is just simply talking about the Most High selecting a woman from his nation. So an Israelite woman, okay, would have been selected and been given to Adam. And the rib which Yahawah power had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. Because understand this, you go back to Genesis 1, you already know that it was already man and women. Verse 27, so Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him, male and female created he them. So this is not the beginning of woman. Okay? It was simply a woman being pulled from his nation. Verse 23, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. How do you bind something? What are we bound by? A covenant. So you bind two people by a covenant. And what is marriage? It's a blood covenant. Okay? Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. You're not ashamed to be naked around your woman. Y'all are married. Regardless if you got a marriage certificate or not. That's your woman. If another man go in her, bro, you gonna be ready to fight and kill over that. That's your woman. The hell you talk? We ain't got no paperwork. Man, get the fuck out of here. That shit is goofy. All right. So let's rewind on this individual.
But guess what? Teenagers that aren't married, they have to keep the Sabbath, right? So what's their pleasure, right? They might like painting, making music, those different things, okay? So when the Bible is talking about pleasure, it's not just talking about do benevolence, sex. It ain't just talking about that, okay? Read it one more time, 13.
And he's correct on that. We're not going to say he's not correct. He's correct on that. Like I said, I refrain from playing the video game on the Sabbath because I play the video game. I play it as a pastime at night. Okay? I refrain from, whatever I do throughout the week a lot, I refrain from it. Like, I might do yard work, so I'm not going to work in the yard on the Sabbath. I'm not going to work out. I work out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm not going to work out on the Sabbath. You understand? And when the Sabbath falls on a Tuesday or a Thursday, I'm just going to change my workout routine. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to give, because working out is a pleasure in itself. All right? So if you go to the gym, you shouldn't go to the gym on the Sabbath, man. It's a day of rest, a day of holiness, Kodash. You setting apart. You giving that day to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. I will watch I'll go watch a Bible movie or something. Or I'll watch more lessons. Or I'll do a lesson. You know, you see, when you get to following Great Millstone, you're going to see a lot of brothers doing Sabbath classes, right? Sabbath lessons, etc., etc. Okay? We hallow the day, we hallow the name. Over here, we show honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. Right? So, hey, I'm about tired of this goofy. Let's jump to the point. Over here at about 6 minutes.
Verse 24. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard,
Yep.
then thou mayest eat grapes, thy field, at thine own pleasure.
You see that?
You see how they jump? They trying to move the goalpost and they jump to a whole nother scripture to try to say that pleasure. He gonna say that pleasure is eating now. And that's what the other dude was saying. He said, you must fast on the Sabbath. That's not true. All right? If you know anything about Israel, we always had bread for the Sabbath. Let's go to the scriptures. All right, let's go to 1 Samuel. Because I guess everybody in 1 Samuel, I guess they was going off then. Okay? I guess they was going off. Let's go to 1 Samuel 21. As a matter of fact, I wanted to get another account. Nah, I'll just get that. If a brother could get it to where David is missed at the feast day, if you know what I'm talking about, Baba Kashar. And then I'm going to get this. 1 Samuel 21:1. Then came David to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and have said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thine hand, give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women. So what did we say earlier? Why they got to keep themselves from women? Because it makes you unclean. So the priest like, nah, bro, this holy bread, this hallowed bread. If y'all messing with women, y'all unclean, y'all can't have this bread. This bread was consecrated in the name of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay? And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy. And the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it was sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hollow bread, for there was no bread there but the show bread that was taken from before Yahawah, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Okay? So we would commonly have show bread on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath. Right? Now let's get this. 1 Samuel 20:18, and throw to the brother Dev forgetting this. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. Now what do you do on the new moon? You have a celebration. You have a feast. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when this business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezel. All right, and that's going into David eventually meeting up with Jonathan. And you can see all of this. Bro, if you watch The House of David on Amazon Prime, you can see all of this visually if you're more of a visual learner. Okay? David was missed at the Sabbath feast, which is also a new moon. You have a feast on the new moon. All right? So they keep talking about fasting. What you talk about?
So you can eat to your own pleasure. So now again, another definition of pleasure according to the Bible is simply eating. Okay? So now the Bible does not restrict eating on the Sabbath, does it? No. So it's not also restricting sex specifically on the Sabbath.
And that's the bullshit that we be talking about. Hey, I gotta hear that again, man. I'm sorry. Let's run that back.
Own pleasure. So now again, another definition of pleasure according to the Bible is simply eating. Okay? So now the Bible does not restrict eating on the Sabbath, does it? No. So it's not also restricting sex specifically on the Sabbath.
Is sex a necessity? No. Is eating a necessity? Yes. All right? You have to eat, bro. And we just broke down on the new moon, you are supposed to have a celebration. So you are supposed to partake in food. All right? If you don't eat, you die. Now, like I said, any other Sabbath other than the new moon, you can fast. Do what you want to do. Okay? You can do what you want to do. You can fast. But the new moon, you must eat. These pleasures are not the same. Eating is not to be taken as a pleasure. You can eat to your pleasure, meaning eating into your liking and eating until you're filled. That's what it's talking about. So you see how they're twisting the scriptures? I pray this is making sense, man. I pray this is making sense. All right. Where's the brother Bakwash at? He was the one that asked me to do this lesson. Well, he needed it. I don't see the brother. Is the brother still in here? Anyway, I just can keep going. All right. We about done. I got two more on these individuals. Wait a minute. Actually, I ain't even gonna play all of them. Let me see. We get this dude real quick.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have the head cover on.
Of the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm gonna play this clip, and then we'll be right back.
Head cover on. I'm cutting it off. Like, I know this brother don't know nothing. I'm not finna listen to this dude. He got his head covered. Like, why would I listen to him? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to this. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13. And that comes with a level of, like, discernment. Like, you got to be able to say, well, obviously this brother is doing this in his actions. This is not somebody I should listen to. But yet and still, brothers be listening to all type of stuff. Come on. Isaiah 58. Let's start at verse 13.
Same shit.
Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13.
Yes.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
That's all I wanted right there. So, some of these other Israelite camps out there on the planet, right? They do teach that they are the Israelites. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have to keep the commandments of God. But also they teach you can't have sex on the Sabbath day based on this scripture. On this scripture right here, I was like, man, what about this scripture says you can't have sex on the Sabbath? Like, I don't understand. What about this is making reference to intercourse? Read that scripture one more time.
The book of Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure.
Doing thy pleasure. When you say thy pleasure, I myself personally enjoy ice cream. So last night, as I was reading and finishing up the book of Jeremiah, I finished it last night, right? As I finished the book of...
And what you're saying is these guys are heavily disingenuous. They don't honestly have a fervent fear of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, which leads to them not having wisdom. Like, I enjoy ice cream. Shut your dumb ass up, bro.
Jeremiah, I said, you know what? I'm going to go get me some Ben & Jerry's half-baked out the refrigerator and enjoy my victory.
That's not even real ice cream either.
Complete Jeremiah. Yay me. That's a long book. I finished it. So that was pleasurable to me. Even finishing the book of Jeremiah is wonderful. Like, I was happy to do it. Like, I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it was pleasurable. So is that saying I can't do that? No. Come on, let's look up the word pleasure. Can I get the definition of pleasure? The definition of the word pleasure. Give me some Websters.
This is the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Pleasure,
Uh-huh.
desire, inclination.
Okay, so that's one definition. Desire, inclination. Go ahead.
Definition 2, a state of gratification.
A state of gratification. Go. Keep going. Scroll on down.
3, sensual gratification.
You can have sensual gratification. Go ahead.
Frivolous amusement.
What they say?
Frivolous amusement.
Frivolous amusement. Okay. Go ahead.
Number 4, a source of delight or joy.
A source of delight or joy. So as we look at this word, there are variations of the definition of this word pleasure. We have, what is that? A state of gratification, and we have frivolous.
And as the brother Kakama is saying on the comment board, so if you find pleasure in reading the word, you shouldn't do it on the Sabbath, right? I find pleasure in teaching. So I guess on the Sabbath day, I shouldn't preach. We actually had people come in here and say that shit. It's the Sabbath. Why are you teaching? Well, I run that right back to you. It's the Sabbath. Why you on TikTok? The fuck? It makes no sense. They're extremely over-righteous. Okay? As Yahawashi said to the Pharisees, my father work on the Sabbath. You understand? We can teach this word every single day, man. This is the true work. This is what we're supposed to do. All right? So these guys are, this guy and other people and the whole camp. Once again, IUIC is a camp of false prophets. Okay? I get this precept from the brother Endure All. This is Ecclesiasticus 39:24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so it's going to make sense unto us. Because we're Kodash, we're set apart, we're holy. We get it. Don't go on your woman on the Sabbath. Okay, that makes sense. Because why? Because it makes you unclean. All right? As we just read in 1 Samuel, the 20th chapter. Okay, in 1 Samuel, the 21st chapter. Understanding those scenarios. Right? All right, have y'all been with women? Y'all can't have this Sabbath bread, this show bread. We haven't been with women. Okay? Why? Why is he asking that? Because it makes you unclean. So therefore, you can't partake in something that is holy. The Sabbath is a holy day. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. False prophets are ultimately wicked, man. We don't even got to hear no more of this bullshit. Let's keep it going. Let's go to, we got 3 more. I know. I'm tired of it too. Let's get out of here.
Arana Espinoza, we see your comments, comment after comment. But I thought you would have read 2 verses down. This is what you want, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Don't not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. Verse 16. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither in the churches of God. So the reason why Paul is sending this letter to the church in Corinth is because they had an issue with an effeminate spirit. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall...
No. The reason Paul is giving it that is because he's bringing out the law. He's letting you know the correct understanding. All right? Yeah, they had an issue with effeminate spirit, of course, as all the churches do, as all the churches do now. So the law is there to help all the churches, not just the Corinthians. All right? Now let's get this in the NLT, because I guess the KJV is too hard for some guys. Isn't it obvious that it's disgraceful for a man to have long hair? Such as this shit. Hair going past your neck. Isn't it obvious that it's disgraceful for a man to have long hair? And isn't long hair a woman's pride and joy? For it has been given to her as a covering? But if anyone wants to argue about this, I simply say that we have no other custom than this, and neither do powers other churches. As I just stated, man. All right, we have no other custom, bro. We don't wear long hair. But he's going to take it and twist it and break it down incorrectly and improperly. Furthermore, what's our covering? Verse 3. But there is one thing I want you to know. The head of every man is Hamashiach. That's Yahawashi Hamashiach. The head of man, the head of woman is man. And the head of Hamashiach is Yahawah. So our covering is Yahawashi. So therefore, we are being disrespectful to Yahawashi by teaching with long hair, by teaching with our head covered, by teaching with a hat on, by teaching with a do-rag on. Okay? When you even salute a brother, you're supposed to take off your hat and say Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi, Barak. Exactly. Hey, brother, it's the spirit that you said, Absalom. Let's let this finish.
Not inherit the kingdom of God. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. So that is the reason. And if you want to go into the Bible and find some examples of men with long hair, Samson, Absalom, the Nazarites.
The Nazarites.
So I hope that answers your question.
They didn't have no long hair down their back. Okay? People take that Nazarite. That's another thing. And we broke that down the other day. Actually, I did a lesson. It's on my YouTube. It's entitled, Not Our Customs. Okay? Let me go get it real quick. Right here. Not our customs. It's not our customs, man. All these customs of the heathen, such as dreadlocks, smoking weed, all this different type of stuff. Those are not our customs, man. But these effeminate jakes, because he want to look like a pretty boy. You want to have your shit all lined up. We don't supposed to have our hair lined up. Okay? Beards lined up and things of that nature. You want to look like a pretty boy, man. That's not the natural way of doing things. That's not how Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi told us to be in the law. That's why your hairline all the way back there. All right, let's move on to the next. These guys don't got it, man.
1 Corinthians, right? 11 and 14.
Let's get that really quick. 1 Corinthians 11:14, right?
They shall not shave their heads, or
Right.
let their locks grow long. They shall surely trim their head, trim the hair of their head.
I say that it's not a sin to cut.
What does he say? Don't let your locks grow long. What is locks? Braids, plaits. All right? So when my hair is getting, it's not there yet, but I'm due for a haircut. What's the day? What's the month? It's July. I'm due for a haircut maybe like September. I'm going to cut it back down short, which I do this every year. I let my hair grow to an afro. I get braids, and then I cut it all the way back down to a low cut. We don't give a fuck about hair. And I do that because shit, I ain't out here in Cali. You got to pay $30 for a damn haircut, man. I ain't about to get them niggas $30. You know? And I used to cut my own hair. But I ain't trying to do all that shit. So, but the point is that we're not obsessed over our hair. As the brother brought out, Absalom. All right? The brother said he paid 50 and 50. Yeah, hell nah. They wildin'. I can't do it. But the brother brought out Absalom, and Absalom is an example of what you don't supposed to be. King David was soft on him, and he allowed him to grow his hair out long. He gave him that, you got your favorite child. So he didn't really correct him and discipline him. And then it was furthermore because of what? Because of a curse that was set upon King David because of what he did earlier in life by taking another man's wife. So Nathan the prophet put that on him through the spirit and power of Yahawah. Said that one of your own line, one of your sons will rise up and with what? Would get with your women. Absalom got with his concubines and would try to take your throne. So this is why it's important to know the scriptures, man. That was prophecy for that to happen. All right?
Your hair.
It is.
It's not.
So it's a sin to have long hair. It's
What was
his
it?
hair.
So what type of long hair was it talking about in
You
Corinth?
tell me.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 16. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom.
There's no such custom, sis. We don't have such custom, but we let our people know when you grow long hair in a certain way, it puts an effeminate spirit on the man.
No, we do
When
have.
the 1,000 years are expired,
It's a
so
lot.
this is the key thing I want you all to understand.
We do have a custom. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 22nd chapter. Anything you think about trying to do, the Most High has already told you that you shouldn't do it. You're trying to read between the lines. This is Deuteronomy 22 and 5. A woman must not put on men's clothing, and a man must not wear women's clothing. Anyone who does this is detestable in the sight of Yahawah your power. And this lines up with 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. Because as a woman is given long hair for glory and as a covering for her, all right, a man isn't given that. Your covering is Yahawashi. So therefore, you are supposed to cut your hair. Or if you do have locks, which are braids and plaits, you aren't supposed to let them grow long as they just read in the scriptures. Don't let your locks grow long. So that is the custom. All right, so let's go. This is the last one. And this dude, and once again, this is what their whole camp teaches. This is on Gog, Magog, and after the 1,000-year reign. This is what they teach. When we going to be in the 1,000-year reign, that somebody's going to rise up against us. Let's go.
When the 1,000 years are expired, so this is the key thing I want you all to understand concerning the war of Gog and Magog. The war on Gog and Magog is going to take place after we rule for 1,000 years. Right. After Satan was loosed in Europe, after that 1,000 years of us ruling. You all see how easy that is?
Yep.
So Gog and Magog is talking about that region of Russia. Who gonna be bound over there? The so-called Caucasian race. You understand? So Satan gonna be loose and he's gonna come with Gog and Magog to come up against the Israelites to battle.
Yeah, as the brother said right there. As the brother said right there, they're going to take us over in a glorified state. This is what IUIC teaches, man. We can't make this shit up. They're going to take us over in a glorified state. All right, let's go to Revelations, the 20th chapter. Let's go back to the KJV. Satan bound. This is what he doesn't understand, that already happened. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Now, when did the Roman Empire fall? Let's look these things up. I want you to, if you're taking notes, write these things down. When did Rome fall? The Western Roman Empire traditionally fell in 476 CE or AD, when the dramatic king Adasur deposed the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus. Okay? So 476 AD. That's when Rome fell. All right? Now, when did these Edomites come back out? Let's get that. What? I did a lesson on it maybe 2 weeks ago. What is it called? The Black Death. The Black Plague. All right? That's when they came. The Black Death was a devastating global pandemic of bubonic plague that primarily swept across Eurasia and North Africa from 1346 to 1353. The outbreak was more severely in Europe between 1347 and 1351, wiping out an estimated 1/3 to half of the continent's population. Now, who was ruling at that point in time? We was Israelites. Okay? During the Dark Ages, which the Dark Ages is just nothing more than us ruling. All right? It was a lot going on. It was a lot of inventions. It was a lot of structures. It was a lot of buildings. It was a lot of technology going on. Okay? They tried to hide it all up. And that Black Death destroyed majority of our people. Now that brought them up out of there. So from 476 AD to around 1350, Esau was trapped in caves. They was trapped in a mindset of being a caveman. And they really established power, as they like to pinpoint, 1492. But they started to come out of those caves around 1346. And they began to wage war. And how did they wage war? As they always wage war. Through sicknesses and pestilence. How are they doing it now? Through sicknesses and pestilence. It's the same MO, man. Didn't I just say Esau is the caveman? Yeah, Esau is the... Ain't no such thing as a damn Neanderthal. Esau was in a caveman state. The Most High put his mind in a caveman state where he lived in a cave. He walked on all fours. He had no understanding. Okay? So it's Esau. So let's read that again. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Where's that old serpent found? Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Now the serpent was more subtile than any beast of the field, which Yahawah power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath power said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Okay, so that serpent. Let's go into that word, which is Nakash. Nakash. And then you go into the root word. As it says, serpent, image, fleeing serpent. But you go into the root word, it'll be the same word. Nakash. To practice divination, divine, observe signs, learn by experience. Diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as an omen. So a wizard, a warlock. That's all he is. That's what this was. This is not a snake. This is a man. This is a group of men. The Edomites. Before they were Edomites. These are men that practice spells, warlocks, wizards. The same thing they do today. Hollywood, Atlanta. All right. Pharmaceuticals. All this type of stuff. Potions. Okay. No, Gabriel. No. Brother said, Khan, living in the caves of Petra. No, they were not living in the caves of Petra at this time. All right. You making a mistake. They were living in the Caucasus Mountains between Georgia and Russia. Let's go get that. When they lived in Petra, that's when they lived in Petra, we was coming out of Egypt. That's when they lived in Petra and Mount Seir. Okay? So when they were pushed into the Caucasus Mountains, that was around the fall of the Western Roman Empire. 476 AD. So they lived in caves 2 different times. All right. Their land is Petra, is Jordan, is Mount Seir. That's their land, their homeland where they're supposed to live. All right. So let's get that. Caucasus. I don't know how to spell that shit. Caucasus Mountains. All right. I got close. So the Caucasus Mountains right here is simply a mountain range between Russia at the top, okay, and Georgia down here. Russia and Georgia. And then you got the Black Sea to the left, and you got the Caspian Sea to the right. They lived in this mountain range right here. They were drove into this mountain range. We drove them into that mountain range. And the Most High, he did them like he did Nebuchadnezzar. He put a spell on them where, as the brother J.K. said, they were the Neanderthal. They were the caveman. All right? And yeah, that's why they're called Caucasians. All right? But, I mean, that's an easy mistake. You know, individuals with the Petra, right? Because that's where they used to dwell at. Okay? So, let's keep it going. Let's go back to Revelations, the 20th chapter. Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit. What is that? That's Europe. That includes the Caucasus Mountains and Europe and all of this. All right, wherever he was. And cast him into the bottomless pit. So that's not talking about a great abyss where he's falling forever. No, that's just talking about Europe, the bottomless pit. All right. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. So made him like a caveman till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. 1,000 years, 476 to the 1400s. Where I said he began to come out around 1350, 1346. But he really started being in power, as the brother said earlier, the rebirth. The what? The Renaissance. Let's simply type that in. When was the Renaissance? The Renaissance was a period of cultural, artistical, and political rebirth that spanned from the 14th century to the 17th century. So it was divine. The Most High allowed them to come down and use the Black Death, the Black Plague, all this sickness and famine and stuff that they were immune to because they had lived around rats for hundreds of years. Okay? So they were immune to the disease, but we was not. Right? So they came down with all of this, and a lot of us began to die. And at this same time, what's going to happen? 1492, major slavery, man. As they came into power, slavery began to happen. All right? And then just so happened they would call it the rebirth, the Renaissance. Okay, yeah. Wild man versus Moors. That's a good one. Yep. So the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that, he must be loosed a little season. We are living in that little season right now. Esau has been loosed. That's why he's coming down with great wrath, because he knoweth he has but a short time. His reign is almost over. He's been reigning on this earth for about 676 years. Okay? If you go, let's do that math. 2026, take away 1350. 676 years Esau has reigned on this planet, man. All right? When did he start to paint Yahawashi white? During the Renaissance. He had a contest. And that's where you get all this iconoclasm. They started to paint Yahawashi and the saints white because there was plenty of pictures of Yahawashi up. Statues and stuff of that nature, man. Okay? We knew back then, we knew our king was dark skinned. He was melanated. So keeping it going, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi, and for the word of power, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. So this is where IUIC is messing up. This is where this dude is messing up because he doesn't understand how it skipped. It jumped. It was a timeline skip. It jumped from them being loosed a little season, and then it's jumping to the end. It's telling you, hey, brothers are going to be beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi and for the word of power. They didn't worship the beast system, neither his image, neither received his mark. It's telling you about these things of which to come. And those individuals, as it says in 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, all right, they shall be brought back from death, and they shall reign with Hamashiach 1,000 years. And then after that 1,000-year period, he's talking. Let's play it one more time.
The 1,000 years are expired.
So this is the key thing I want you all to understand concerning the war of Gog and Magog. The war on Gog and Magog is going to take place after we rule for 1,000 years.
And that's a damn lie. What is going to come after that 1,000-year reign? Another 1,000-year reign. It's an everlasting kingdom. Everlasting simply means forever. It's never going to end. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Talking about the heathen. All right. And the 2/3. Okay. People that the heathens are dead. They have no life. Okay. So they have to be what? We're going to be bringing back 2/3. They're going to be reincarnated, brought through our loins. Okay. That's what's going to happen, man. We're bringing back those that died in the fire. And then the heathens are going to be what? They're going to come back in reincarnations and be what? Be taught the laws, commandments, and statutes. Verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. That, as the brother just said, so when is the new covenant supposed to take place? They don't have it. They don't understand it. The first resurrection is us getting that everlasting body. And what? On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of Yahawah and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Yes, exactly, brother. The brother put after that 1,000-year reign, Obadiah 1:18, then Israel continues to rule. So after the 1,000-year reign, Esau will be exterminated, deleted forever. No more Edomites. Now going down here to 7, as it says, Satan freed, doomed. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. This is talking about the same 1,000 years right here. This is what dude don't understand. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations in that little season. Okay? What is he doing right now? He's deceiving the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So Esau and Gog and Magog right now, they're Edomites. Those Russians are Edomites. He's going to gather them. They're going to fight one another. Who's the major people? Russia and U.S. Edom, okay, and Edom. Verse 9. And they went up to the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city, and fire came down from power out of heaven and devoured them. ICBM missiles, chariot fire. That's ultimately what's going to happen when WW3 happens, because this is talking about World War III. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, America, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. America. Okay? The beast being this Edomite system, the false prophet being the Vatican. More Edomites. All right? So this is talking about at the end of that little season. This is not talking about at the end of our 1,000-year reign. Verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before power, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged, every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So you cannot escape that fire. Point blank period, man. Okay? Let's say you commit suicide today and you think you're going to, no, the Most High is going to bring you back and throw you into that lake of fire. That's what will happen. He'll bring you back. He'll put you in a body like this, and he'll throw you into that lake of fire. You have to pay for what you did. You can't escape him in the grave. Or you can't leave this planet and escape him. You can't do it. The best thing for you to do is to serve Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, and Kakadash, man.
After Satan was loosed in Europe, after that 1,000 years of us ruling. You see how easy that is?
Yep.
So God...
We are going to be in everlasting bodies, having chariots, UFOs, unable to die, flying, teleporting, having subjection over the universe. And you think Russia is going to rise up and fight us? Something's literally loose in their minds over there at the IUIC, man. And if you can't see that, then you probably ain't a man of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And I ain't even trying to deal with you. You know? Point blank period, man. All right? So we went through a couple videos breaking down how these dudes is on bullshit. Okay? And that's it, man. I'm done. I'm done, man. Hey, pray this was edifying to the flock facing the east. And if there's any questions, ask them right now. All right, I'm going to face the east and salute out. Giving all praise, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. And double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone that rule well and teach well and sincerity taught us his truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. As always, Kwam Yasharahla and Abba Ball. All right. Keep the faith, brothers. Okay. He said, can you break down Tobit 14, 4 through 5? Let me go look at it real quick. Because I haven't read that in a minute. So if I can, I will. But if I can't, then I'll go get the breakdown for you. All right, yeah, this is a simple one. Okay. All right, it says, this is Tobit 14, 4 through 5. Go into Media, my son, for I surely believe those things which Jonas, the prophet, spake of Nineveh, that it shall be overthrown, and that for a time peace shall rather be in Media, and that our brethren shall lie scattered in the earth from that good land, and Jerusalem shall be desolate, and the house of power in it shall be burned and shall be desolate for a time. Now that's what we see. All right, our land is desolate for a time. We are lying scattered on the earth. Okay, we are no longer in Jerusalem. All right. The things that Jonah spoke of Nineveh was true. It was Israelites in Nineveh. All right. Because during that time, the northern kingdom made an alliance with the Assyrians. Therefore, you would have Israelites traveling to Nineveh to worship the gods of the Ninevites. So our people was doing false god worship back then, as we all know. All right. Verse 5. And that again, power will have mercy on them and bring them again into the land where they shall build a temple, but not like to the first until the time of that age be fulfilled. And afterwards they shall return from all places of their captivity and build up Jerusalem gloriously, and the house of power shall be built in it forever with a glorious building, as the prophets have spoken thereof. Now, with that being said, you want to go to Revelations, okay? The 21st chapter. And you can start at the top. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And that new heaven and that new earth is talking about what? A new kingdom, a new rulership, a new society, a new environment, the correct way of living. Verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from power out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. That city, New Jerusalem, is simply talking about the men of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, the remnant. All right. So when it says we shall build a new temple, not like the first, it's talking about we are the temple. Okay. We're not going to build up a physical temple. Jerusalem is being built up right now through us. We are Jerusalem. We are Mount Zion. We are being adorned. We are being built up. So, and you can read this on your own time. I'll read a little bit of it. Revelations, the 21st chapter, going down, verse 10. Okay. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and a high mountain and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Yahawah, having the glory of power, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. All right, so let me go down to the point right here. Verse 16. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is of the angel. All right. So that's talking about the 144,000. These measurements are precise, man. Okay. 12 times 12 is 144. It's 144 cubits. New Jerusalem is talking about the men. As it talks about, it's all decked in all these different type of stones and stuff. Most precious stones. Yahawah said that we are his jewels. Okay. So we are being adorned. We are being built up. We are being purified. We are being made to shine. We are his jewels. So New Jerusalem is simply his men, man. Verse 3, back up here. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of power is with men. The house of Yahawah is with his men, and he will dwell with them. He dwells in us. 1 Corinthians 3, 16, 17. You are the temple of Yahawah. All right. Behold, the tabernacle of power is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and power himself shall be with them and be their power. Okay. So that's simply what Tobit, the 14th chapter, 4 through 5 is talking about. New Jerusalem. Yeah, lively stones. That's another one. All right. The brother said, when is the Day of Atonement? Hey, off the mind, I don't know. At this point in time, I look to Elder Apostle Ramblab. He and you should know, he runs GMS High Holy Days. Let's get that real quick. what is it? GMS Holy Days and Sabbaths. Right here, right? GMS New Moons and High Holy Days. So before it happens, he'll put it out. This is how you always know the Sabbaths, right? You know, as I said, the new moon's coming July 13th. He already posted it to let you know. So he puts out every single day and all of that. Now, we could sit here and go through, you know, we could go through the timeline and we could figure it out, right? But I ain't about to do that right now. But, you know, hey, you know, if I have some time later on, I'll do it and I'll get it. But I know it's not this month, okay? It's coming up, though. It's either in October or around the end of August or something of that nature. But I'll get back with you, right? But when you know it, when it's time, you know how brothers do. Brothers is going to make videos on it. So when it's that time, we'll sound the trumpet and we'll make videos upon it, right? But that's a good question, though. All right. So, hey, man, with that being said, I don't see no more questions. I'm going to get up on out of here. As always, already saluted out. Hey, Shalawam, keep the faith. Shalawam, Shalawam.